Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're welcome. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful sleeveless dress. It's a princess bustier sleeveless dress with a basque waistline or a curved waistline. Is this a video you're interested in? Please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions regarding the drafting of the pattern or the sewing of this outfit, please leave it in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply. For this outfit, I made use of 6 yards of fabric. If you're on the bigger side, you might use beyond 6 yards because I wanted my gathers very full. So that's why you're seeing the outfit come out like this. So if you're interested, let's get into drafting. The first step into making this outfit is we're going to be drafting the upper bodice. So right now I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two, and I'll extend my tape measure to the 9 inches mark. That's my bust line, and from my bust line I'll be taking my measurement from that line. So I marked 9 inches as my starting line, which is my bust line. I marked my waistline of 16 inches. I marked my hip of 23 inches, and I marked the length of 26 inches. That's where I want the basque effect to, take place. So I've gone to mark the measurement. I will extend the lines just as shown. You extend your tape measure. While your tape measure is extended, you put your markings on the fabric. That's exactly what I've done. Right now, I'll proceed to the next step of extending the lines, and will continue with the drafting of the pattern. I also marked my bust point. My bust point is 11.5. So I marked 11.5 for my bust point, and I also extended the lines as well. Please don't forget, mark your bust point because that's where the bustier will be, you'll be marking the bustier and that's taken. So right now I've proceeded to marking my bust span measurement. My bust span is 8 inches divided by 2. That will give me 4 plus 0.5 inches of sewing allowance. That will give me 4.5. So I'll be marking that 4.5 from the starting line down to my length. So I'll go now to my waist, and I'll go outwards by 1 inch on both sides. I'll be taking 1 inch on both sides for my dart, both on the bust point and on the waistline. And I'll be taking that 1 inch on both sides as well on my length. If you don't understand what I'm doing, please just watch the video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. I'll go to the starting line and also mark 1 inch on both sides, and I'll be curving it exactly how you see me do. I went ahead to curve my dart just as shown. So right now I'll proceed to extending the lines for the dart taking. I used 1 inch on both sides for my darts. You can make use of 0.5 inches if you're on the smaller side. You can use 0.5 inches of darts taken on both sides. So the next step is to extend the lines, and we are done with taking in our darts. So the next step is to impute our measurement. My bust line is 42 divided by 4. That will give me 10.5. I'll mark that measurement on the bust line. I'll come down to my waist. My waist is 38 divided by 4. That will give me 9.5. I'll mark that as well, and I'll come down to my hip, and my hip is 44 divided by 4. That will give me 11 inches. I'll mark that measurement, and I'll also be marking that 11 inches on my length as well. So the next step now is to add the sewing allowance and the dart taking. So on my bust line, I added 2 inches of dart taking and 2 inches of sewing allowance. On my waistline, I added 2 inches of dart taking and 2 inches of sewing allowance. And also on my hip line, I did 2 inches of dart taking and 2 inches of my sewing allowance. And I proceeded to extending the lines just as shown. After after extending the lines, the next step is to carve out your basque effect. I went upwards by 2 inches on my hip line. So from my hip line, I went upwards by 2 inches, and I marked that measurement. So from that 2 inches, I'll be curving my basque effect to meet my length. If you don't understand what I'm doing, please just watch the video. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply. So I've proceeded to covering out my basket effect. If you want your basket effect more defined, you can go upwards by 3 inches or 4 inches. But for me, this effect is okay. So I'm just noting my measurement for the back because I'll be drafting. The back doesn't have the basket effect. So I noted that measurement of 13 inches for the back. So I'll proceed now to cutting out my front pattern. We are done with the front pattern. I said earlier in the video, I'll be using my Ankara fabric for my lining. If you don't have enough fabric, you can use a normal lining to line your Ankara fabric. But for me, I'll be using the Ankara fabric for my lining. So I've gone ahead to cut out my lining, and I'll go ahead and just notch my waistline, my bust point, and my hip line, and I'll be marking my dart as well. So I've gone ahead to cut out my darts. Please just watch the video on how I cut out my pattern. Don't make a mistake cutting out yours. Take your time in cutting out your pattern. Don't rush. So after cutting out my pattern, this is what we have. The bustier is looking nice. So we'll proceed now to drafting of the back pattern. I'll proceed to drafting the back pattern. I'll mark my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'll be marking the zipper allowance of 1 inch all the way down. So I'll also extend the tape measure by 9 inches, and I'll be marking from that 9 inches. I'll mark my bust line, my bust point of 11.5, my waistline of 16 inches, my hip of 23 inches, and I'll stop there for the back drafting. I'll stop and I'll extend the lines just as shown. After extending the lines, the next step is to extend the line for the zipper allowance. I'll proceed to doing that now. The next step is to impute our bust span measurement. In the beginning, I said my bust span is 8 inches divided by 2, that will give me 4 inches. But I'll add 0.5 inches of sewing allowance, that will give me 4.5. So I'll proceed to marking up 4.5 from my bust line down to meet my hip. So I'll extend with a straight line. That's my bust span measurement. So after marking my bust span, I'll proceed to taking in my dart on my hip line. I'll take the dart of 1 inch on both sides. You can do 0.5 inches if you're on the smaller side, but I'll be doing 1 inch on both sides for my dart taking. I'll proceed to, extending the lines to meet my bust points. My bust point. So after that, the next step is to impute our normal measurement. My bust line 42 divided by 4, that will give me 10.5, and my waistline 38 divided by 4, that will give me 9.5, and my hip line 44 divided by 4, that will give me 11 inches. I'll impute that measurement also as well. After that, now we'll go to add our sewing allowance. Now I'll add 2 inches of sewing allowance on my bust line. I'll come to my waistline, mark my 1 inch of that taking, because it's just 1 inch of that taking on that waistline, and 2 inches of sewing allowance. On my hip, I'll do 2 inches of that taking and 2 inches of sewing allowance. I'll proceed now to just extend the lines just as shown. After you're done marking your measurements, your curve should come out like this. Your curve should come out exactly like mine. So now I'll go to my waistline and take in 0.5 inches because to avoid zipper bulge for my outfit. So I'll go inwards by 0.5, and I'll just proceed to covering out the zipper allowance just as shown. The next step after that is to cut out the back pattern. I just did a basic dart for the back. So the next step now is to note my measurements. Remember, at the front pattern I marked 13.5 for the side because we don't have the basket effect at the back. So I'll just proceed now to marking that 13.5, and I'll just curve my ruler just as shown to mark that line. So I'll extend the line just as shown, and I'll cut out my back pattern. I'm just here checking my measurements to ensure that it is right. The remaining small allowance there is for joining the outfit to the gathers. So right now proceed to cutting out the back pattern. If you're a beginner watching my tutorial, please take your time in cutting out your pattern. Take your time in cutting out your pattern. Don't rush while cutting out your pattern, and ensure you take accurate measurement before drafting on your pattern. You can draft on a pattern paper before you draft on fabric. So right now I'm just notching my fabric, my waistline, my hip line, my bust line. I'll just proceed to marking that measurement and just notching. So I just notch my darts taking, and I'll open up my zipper allowance. So with that, we are done with the back pattern. For the straps, I won't be twisting mine, I'll be braiding mine. So I cut out 16 inches in length in 6 places and 5 inches in width for the strap. So I'll proceed now to, drafting out the pattern for the gathers. So I'm marking 40 inches in length and 33 inches in width for my gathers. Now the 33 inches is in 4-fold. I folded my fabric 4 times. So that's 33 inches times 4 if you're going to mark out your gathers, how full you want it to be. So I've gone ahead to do that and we'll proceed next to joining. So the first step is to padding my bustier. I've gone ahead to pad my bustier. If you want a video on how I padded my bustier, please leave it in the comment section. I'll make the video available. So after padding my bustier, I used a soft interface for it. I've gone ahead and I sewed on 0.5 inches of sewing allowance to join it. The bustier came out really nice. It's standing accurately well. So right now I've gone ahead to also join the lining piece together. So I'm just placing it on it to show you how it's going to look. So I've gone ahead to join the strip and the strap together. Here I'll be showing you how I braided it. So I'll just do a simple braid just to show you how I braided it for the strap. So this is the design I'll be going for. You can do the twisting one. You can twist your fabrics together. But for me, I like this braided one. So I'll just proceed to doing that. The next step after that is to impute the braided strap into the outfit before sewing. I'll just proceed now to tacking the ends. You want to tack the ends so that it doesn't come out loose. Tack the ends when you're done braiding it or twisting it. After braiding or twisting your straps, the next step is to mark where you'll be imputing your straps. Now, from my bust span, the joining, from my bustier joining, I'll go outwards by 2 inches. Please just watch what I'm doing at this part. I'll go outwards by 2 inches. You can do 1.5 depending on where you want your straps to be on your shoulder. I'll go outwards by 2 inches and I'll just impute it that way. I'll mark 2 inches on both sides away from my joining of the bustier, and I'll be imputing my straps just as shown. I've gone ahead to do that. It came out really looking nice. This is the outcome. The fit came out well, and I've also attached my lining. Now we'll proceed to joining the back as well. I'll proceed now to joining the back. I'll join the top side, but I'll be leaving the open space for my straps that I'll be inserting inside the back pattern. So I've gone ahead to do that, and after that I'll proceed to marking my dart taking. So here I'm showing you the space I left for the straps sticking. So I'll be inserting the straps just in those 2 holes. So right now I went ahead to mark 3 inches from my back pattern. I marked 3 inches. That's where I'll be inserting the strap into the fabric. I marked my dart taking of 1 inch. Here I'll just be showing you how I just connected the lines to meet my dart, and I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll sew it straight down. If you don't understand any part of this video, please leave it in the comment section. You can pause the video, go back and rewatch. If you don't understand, leave a comment in the comment section and I'll be sure to reply. If you have watched my videos to this point, please don't forget to give this video a like. It helps my video a lot. It helps YouTube push out my content to other people that want to watch and learn from me. Please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be uploading very beautiful tutorial videos on how to, sew and draft patterns. So right here, I'm just showing you how I inserted the straps into the fabric. And with that, I'll proceed to the next step of joining the shoulder seams together. I've gone ahead to do that off camera. It came out really looking nice. After joining your side seams together, you